All callers are muted and they can unmute themselves.
I ain't back in there yet.
This conference is being recorded.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. May Allah's Salam Alaikum. We just wanted to remind you you know, the reason some of you all can't grow is because you're too busy entertaining the wrong kind of thoughts about me. You think you know me, you don't know me. You just think you do. The book sure wasn't lying when it said, don't no man know who the Son is but the Father. Neither any man the Father but the Son. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we just never can understand why we just do not understand the Son. But it's a light that was put out there that wasn't made for you to understand. You ought to try to get your mind on what I gave you to do instead of worrying about what I'm doing. Since you don't know what I'm doing, your evil thought that you entertained about your Lord ruined you. That's what the book said. And it's ruining a lot of you in here right now. You always assume that somebody would be doing what you would be doing. You know, that's where the wicked always think. Everybody doing it. Yeah, right. Well, let's get on back into this. It says, and certainly, it's the 13th chapter of the Holy Quran and the 38th verse. And certainly we sent messengers before thee and appointed for them wives and children. It is not in the power of a messenger to bring a sign, a scripture, except by Allah's permission. And for every term, there is an appointment. You know, that's what prophets do. They tell you about stuff that's coming. Who is that with the phone off mute, bro? Mute them. If they have a question, then they need to ask the question instead of just leaving the phone. What is your question?
I don't have a question. They did that to me when I dialed in.
All right. But okay, it says, for every term there is an appointment. You see, the messengers of God, as the messenger said, the prophet wasn't raised to tell you the day. He was raised to tell you that the day was coming. That's what the prophets was raised for. And it says, Allah effaces what he pleases and establishes what he pleases. And with him, you know, these terms, even the way that it's the way that it is written. It is written in language purposely to hide. Do you understand? It's like that Master Farad Muhammad, whenever he was speaking to him, he said he never would just come out and say something. You had to always go dig for what he meant by dig for what he meant by it. Why? Because nobody wanted to take my place. Nobody wanted to come and get in the place of the one who would come and make everything plain. Do you understand? A plain warner. You know, Allah erases what he pleases, and he establishes what he pleases. And with him is the understanding of the book. Huh? You say the basis of it. Well, that's the understanding of it. On what basis are you saying that? Yeah. It says, well, my reward is with me. That's the reward of doing what's written. You get to understand it. You don't have to ask for it. I come quickly and my reward is with me. It says, whether we let these see part of that which we promised them, or cause thee to die, to misunderstand. Thine is but the delivery of the message, and ours, when the Son of Man shall come, and all the holy angels with him, ours is to call them to account. Yeah. See they not that we are visiting the land, curtailing it by means of the oceans of its sides? And Allah pronounces a doom. They used to even talk about that. They don't always use that terminology on doomsday. But they used to use that kind of terminology. Doomsday. Allah pronounces a doom. When you start off in this world, you started off doomed, because the world has been under the control of the devil himself. That's right. He took Jesus up there and showed him all his kingdoms. Said all the kingdoms of the world. But the kingdoms of this world now have become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ. That's what the book teach you. Well, who was there before? He had no more authority over you now. Why you think he don't say nothing to me? Tell me about what he gonna show me. It says, and Allah pronounces a doom, and there is no repeller of his decree. How you know that? You hear anybody able to repel what I'm saying? Repel is just another way of resisting. It's Judgment Day. It says, and he is swift. What's another word for swift? You quick? You come quickly? He is swift in calling to account. Huh? You let me know if they're typing something so I can show you what swift means. Not gonna get away with your empty, vain statements no more. Here a man wanna bark and go on at you when he could have came in there and talked. As if he got something really that need to be said. If he thought he had something that need to be said, he wouldn't be wasting time sitting there typing. When you think you got something to be said, do you write a letter? Or when you just passing gas? You know, if you think, you know, a lot of y'all sitting up here think you got some cry against me. Whatever it is you think you got against me, why don't you say it to me? When I got a problem with you, I go to you. And those, you know, let me tell you something. It's fruitless for you to tell somebody who following me, don't come and tell the Son of Man. You're stupid. I already know you're stupid. I mean, what I'm gonna do? What, run you off? To hell? Hopefully you learn some sense and correct yourself. If you don't, well, ain't nothing I can do for you. And it ain't nothing you can do to me. So just keep on acting a fool, and you're gonna get the reward of your act pretty soon. That ain't no threat from me. That's from Allah. It's just like people who, he know you annoy me. That's why he said about those who annoy Allah and his messenger. The Bible says whoever fall on it. Well, okay. I tried to warn you. That's the best I can do. You know, if a man, you know, when people used to, like I told you, my older brother, I was a youngster. He come up to me trying to tell me about the messenger. I got sick of it. You know, I told him, you said something else, I'm bust you in your mouth. And I was quick to fight back then. You know, 22. What did I know about anything? just got back from Vietnam too. So you want to meet me then, you know, because I was a youngster and I didn't have the kind of teaching that I'm giving you. Most of them brothers was man, they was a bunch of brothers who raised hell. You know what Malcolm was into? A lot of them brothers had been in jail most of their life, and they was reformed by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. At least they was trying to reform. But it didn't take but a hop, skip, and a jump for them to go back into what they had grew up doing. So even though he was saying, don't be out there fighting your people. We're not here to fight our people. And some of them was saying, look, nobody said nothing about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's what that wasn't his teaching. That was them. You know, and some of them was agents. You know, because they knew you liked to fight anyway, so it didn't take much to get you to fight. So, you know, but you know, you want to sit up and talk about somebody who ain't there. You talk them down, but you ain't got nothing to say. You at home out there in them streets, huh? Them your friends. Okay. All right. We're gonna remember that. Don't erase none of them things that they write to you. You hear me? The little messages that they send you, keep them. What did I tell you about them messages people send? I told you keep a record, didn't I? All right. Okay. Right now you're in grace. And those before them planned indeed, but all planning is Allah's. They planned, and what? Where'd they get their plan from? The devil said, I'm gonna make evil fast seemeth. What did Allah say? He said it like he had already what? Because I gave you the plan, man. You go do it. Huh? Allah told him that's the right way with me. That was my plan for you. Right? Yeah. So it says, he knows what every soul earns. Well, that's just another way of saying he knows what every soul does. He understands not just what you did, but he understands why you did it. And it says, and the disbelievers will come for whom is the good end of the abode, and for whom is the good end of life. And those who disbelieve, they say, thou art not a messenger. Say, Allah is sufficient for a witness between me and you, and whoever has knowledge of the book. Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm the messenger who comes in the volume of the covenant. Yeah. Allah and his messenger are one. The word is with him. Yes. This ain't no what you call abstract teaching. It's plain truth I'm sharing with you. You'll notice, even when you stand up looking at an abstract painting, Somebody who really understands can come up there and tell you, see, now this is what you see, this is what you can see. Look at that closely there. Pretty soon it don't look abstract to you no more. Is that right? Yeah. Got to make it plain so everybody can be held accountable. Yep, that's what we want to do. Let everybody be held accountable for what they know. If I had not come and spoken unto them, Allah said, speak to them with whose words? What have I been doing? You know, the white man, he got an old saying, well, if it walk like a duck and quack like a duck and got feathers like a duck, then it must be a duck. Well, if I'm doing everything that the scripture says the Son of Man is supposed to do, then I must be the Son of Man. Disbeliever? I mean, what? Here you got people that haven't even thought about the fact that you can't know. You can only believe. Whosoever believeth on him shall not perish. Disbelievers, I don't serve what you serve, nor do you serve him whom I serve. Nor shall I serve what you serve, nor do you serve him whom I serve. That's right. We say he, Allah, is one. We know what we saying. You know, we ain't have no two at a time. We said one at a time. He is one. And none is like him. That's it. That's pretty plain. You found another teacher. Honorable Elijah Muhammad was here. What teacher do you know of that was like him? Yeah, he had ministers out there, but they weren't like him. How you know that's true? When he went in, what he did. So they wasn't like him. Everything fell apart. So they found out how terrible was the calamity. Yeah. Sitting up talking about how heavy they was. Yeah, that was the problem. They were too heavy. Couldn't stand up. We weigh the earth mathematically. But in space, the earth ain't got no weight. It ain't heavy. You heavyweights out there. You don't know what you're talking about. Big as the sun is, it don't weigh nothing. But getting them kind of discussions with people because you know they're not able to have them kind of discussions. They think they done did something when they do the little theoretical mathematical thing that we taught them how to do. But you know, we don't heavy. You know, we are vessels in the service of Allah, period. And we know what we worship. Otherwise, we don't worship it until we get to know it. No, you let something fly out your mouth and you don't know what you're talking about. Then giving it to somebody else. Huh? So we don't carry on gossip. No. But if an unrighteous person bring you news, you know how many people's reputation done got messed up and how many people done got tripped up because somebody's gossip? The tongue can be a deadly poison. You better quit drinking everything somebody bring you. Huh? We used to have a saying, so-and-so's mouth ain't no prayer book. So, let's see here. Anybody got any questions on what I just read? It's pretty plain, isn't it? As I was telling you, you know, how in the world you think water is dead and it's keeping you alive? That's rich, isn't it? You can't live without it. And the earth the surface area of it is 3/4 covered in water. We even know the earth is breathing. The scripture call it the breath of the earth. Hey, they went up on the breath of the earth. Yeah. Self-sufficient. Ain't no air coming from out in space. It's all being manufactured right here. Isn't that something? Allah is self-sufficient. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a plan that is eternal. Stuff just I make all things new. Look at them leaves, they gonna fall off that tree, turn brown. And then when you gonna see green leaves on that tree again, I make all things new. Isn't that something? Yes. Yes, I'm telling you. We find our truth in the universal order of things. It ain't something we made up. We can point to it and show it to you. How is fire going to claim to be better than dust just because I'm fire? Yet everything that you got out of there and made it from fire came out of dust, including you. It's a lot of things that we just we hear people say, and when you look at the universal order of things, you discover that they don't know what they're talking about. Huh? You know, better is the end of a thing than the beginning. Yeah, that's right. So, where is that thing going to? It's returning to dust from whence it came. Dust thou art, and to dust thou shalt return. Huh? So, yeah, we got a lot to learn. And in time, all of these things will be so plain that you'll be saying, wonder why I didn't know that before. Because you don't know the same things at that age of 8, 9, 10 years old that you know when you 28, 38, 48. But as you mature, other things just come to you. Is that right? All praise is due to Allah. So, the next chapter, Abraham, the chapter named Abraham, says, in the name of Allah, the merciful, I, Allah, am the seer. A book which we have revealed to thee, that thou mayest bring forth men by their Lord's permission from darkness into light, to the way of the mighty, the praised one. Huh? Well, this is that fulfillment of that. Is we like to show you these things with certainty, so you can be certain. Let's see here. I'm trying to get this. Just give me a minute. It's a wonderful thing to have so many ways to go after looking for something. In the book of 1 Peter. All right. Sit there and be still. 1 Peter, the 2nd chapter. When the Holy Quran, it says, I, Allah, am the seer. You know, the light of the body is the eye. And the eyes are actually messengers. The seer is the one that interprets what the message that was. That's the mind. The mind is the interpreter. That's the one who sees. what the eyes deliver in the form of messages. Do you understand? You can't see without light, right? So the eyes send light. You see, the light of the body is the seer of the body is the mind. So it says, I, Allah, am the seer, a book which we have revealed to thee. Son of man, take the book, eat it up. A book which we have revealed to thee, that thou mayest bring forth men by their Lord's permission. So if they believed in Jesus, take Jesus' words and let them see Jesus agrees with you. If they believed in Moses, take Moses' words. Whichever one they call their Lord. Bring them by their Lord's permission. From darkness into what? From ignorance into understanding. To the way of the mighty, the praised one. Who Allah himself bear witness to. He said, and I too am of the bearers of witness with you. Of the praised one of Allah. Yes. How can you believe which receive honor one from another and seek not the honor that cometh from God only? And he says, whose is whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. The earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. And woe to the disbelievers for the severe chastisement that's going to come on you for disbelieving. And your evil thought, it ruins you. That's what the book say, right? Can't change it. Ain't nothing I can do. I can't change that. So, in 2 Peter, it says, in the 6th verse, I just be patient. I'm getting there. I said 1 Peter, the 2nd chapter, starting at the 6th verse. It says, wherefore, also it is contained in the scripture, behold, I lay in Zion, in the volume of the projection, the volume of the book, a chief cornerstone. What is that? He makes all of it one. That's where intersecting lines become one. Huh? I make all of the scriptures one. It is revealed to me that your God and my God are one God. It is revealed to me that you who take the Torah and you who take the gospel and you who run as three, they are one. The chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth will not be confounded. That's right. Yeah. If you believe, you shall not be confounded. Huh? Yes, sir. When you believe what's written, you believe on me. When you believe what's coming out of my mouth, you believe in what's in me. It don't make no difference, except that you got to believe both what you read and what you hear. You see? So the book told you there are three in heaven that bear witness in one: the Word, the Spirit, and the Son. And these three are one. And we agree in one. The spoken word, the mind that produced the spoken word, and the written word. We are all one. And we all agree with each other. And it says, unto you, therefore, which believe, he is precious. As Isaiah said, sanctify the Lord of hosts himself, and he become precious to you. That's what Isaiah said. Then it says, but unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner. Yes, sir. So this is you look at the corner of anything, better be careful not to bump into it with your head. Is that right? You that table is all right. You kind of hit your head on one part of it, but you better not hit that corner. Is that right? Yes. Yeah, they bowing now. You notice. You do all that about on Twitter and all that other stuff, but they won't come in here and say nothing to me. That's bowing in the true sense of the word. If they thought that they had something that was worthwhile that could refute something I say, they wouldn't be writing it. They'd be coming in here speaking it. Ain't that right? That's what you do when you think you got a case in court. You don't just write it. You want to know when is the trial? Why do you want to trial? I want to face that so-and-so. Is that right? I noticed don't nobody want to face me. Now, am I filibustering or am I telling the truth? Go and find that one that claim he ain't gonna bow. Ask, come in here and tell me that. You know, when you offer people, understand something. I know how this world works. When you offer people the opportunity to refute something you say, and they don't, then that is an act that we say they bowed in agreement. Huh? Don't mean they wanted to, but their silence was an act of bowing to the fact that I can't refute nothing they say. But you got something you want to say? No. Well, you ain't got nothing to say, then you bow, don't you? You have to, your silence is a bow in agreement that that person, what they're saying is you cannot refute it. So as I live, every knee shall bow before me, and every tongue shall confess on I speak. How does the tongue confess to the truth? By not wagging. When people think, their tongue start wagging. When people know you telling the truth, they may want to wag, but they shut up. They shall shut their mouths at him. That's what the book says. And if I'm not to him, then let's see if some of you talk and make some sense. I didn't say come in here and cuss. You can do that. I know you can do that with your nasty self. But come in here and with truth, show me that I'm saying something that the scripture contradicts. You can't do it. And so it says, unto you, therefore, which believe is precious. You notice, all I'm talking about somebody. When he comes, the Spirit of truth, Jesus is talking about somebody. Peter is talking about somebody here. Muhammad said, seek refuge in the Lord of men. He's talking about someone. Solomon said, wait on the Lord. He's talking about somebody. David said, trust in the Lord. He's talking about somebody else. Well, who are you talking about? Ezekiel told you who he's talking about. Son of man. Take the book and eat it. And go and speak with my words. So it's written. Unto you, therefore, which believe, he is precious. You sanctifies him. It says, but unto them which be disobedient. That's why they don't believe. Because they never obeyed me and found out that what I was telling them was right. You understand? They were self-willed hypocrites, pretending. Okay. And it says, but unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner. It says, and a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. Yeah, that's what it said. Even to them which stumble at the word. They don't like it. Yet you seek to kill me, a man that have told you the truth. They stumble at the word. Huh? And it says, being disobedient. Wherefore, also they were. Yes. That is what happens. I already said that he would, those who did not like to retain God in their knowledge, he would turn them over to what? Yeah. To do those things that are not convenient. Huh? Ain't good for them. But that's what they do. Then it says, but you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation. Yes. What is that? You don't talk to bodies. You talk to heads. The messengers of God is a chosen generation. And we are all, even though we came at different times, we are all one. And everyone who connects themselves to us shall live. Our body, the head of every man. I remember this fellow wrote on the Farrakhan factor that the messenger said that we belong to him. He wasn't lying. The head of every man is. And the head always speaks of those, the body, as a possession, as belonging to him. I would have been disappointed if he hadn't said that we belong to him. He said, you don't belong to nobody but me now. And when Jesus was here, we didn't belong to nobody but Jesus. And when Moses was here, we didn't belong to nobody but Moses. That's why he didn't want to come in and talk with me. He was scared, and he was scared right. Because we don't say things that we don't have proof of. The scriptures tells you that you belong to Christ. It says we are Christ's, and Christ is God's. Possess it. Where's that at? You don't know what you're talking about. In 2 Corinthians, that's why they hate the scripture. What chapter? The 10th chapter. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. Yeah, we like to make it clear. This is 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter. And it's this is the starting at the 21st verse. It says, therefore, let no man glory in men, for all things are yours, whether Paul or Apollos or Cephas or the world or life or death or things present or things to come, all are yours. And ye are Christ's, and Christ is God's. You see? So all praises due to Allah. I'm called the Son of Man, so I'm their son. And at the same time, I'm their Lord. S-U-N. There you go. Say, they called me into being with the word. Allah said to him, be, and he is. Do you understand? So that's what happened when I was told to eat up the book. He opened it for me. He spread it for me. And I became, as he said, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Yes, sir. This day is the Sabbath day. And so this is the day of the Son of Man. And so Allah, he brought me into being with the word. Eat flesh and dwelt among us. And we had foreseen, beheld his glory. The glory is of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. Eat it up till you get full. Fill yourself with it. Full of grace and truth. Yeah. They mad because the truth has come and falsehood vanished. Huh? Not so much vanished as vanquished. Say the truth has come and falsehood vanquished. Do you understand? Yeah. We overcome falsehood with truth. I didn't choose the devil as my party. I chose the party as the Holy Quran says in chapter 8. It says, the 5th verse, I'm going to start there. It says, even as thy Lord caused thee to go forth from thy house with truth. I remember when I used to go around with a little pamphlet called the Rising Sun. And I used to go knocking door to door from my house after I have them printed up, and I'd pass them out free. Knock on the door and one. And if they said no, I leave. They say, how much it costs? I say, it's free. But I don't want you to take it. And I didn't put it on no just any kind of paper. I put it on that vellum that was cardstock paper. And I always got them in different colors so they didn't think it was the same one every time I brought it. Then they couldn't say, well, I already had that one. So I brought it in different colors and they would read it. And some of them started looking forward to me bringing it. And I went forth with the truth from my house. It says, though a party of the believers were surely averse, they was against me. I was working in the restaurant. I remember Rushadine, Harold 10X, you call him Khaled, when he was in there trying to argue for Wallace, with what Wallace and them had taught. And he was arguing about some of the things that the messenger had taught us that I hadn't quite gained the total knowledge of. So it kind of, I responded emotionally. Told him, well, you want to disbelieve. I ain't going to disbelieve it. And so next thing you know, he turned on Wallace and got with Farrakhan. Him and Farrakhan stood up. Both of them was teaching for Wallace for a while. And but anyway, they were averse to what I was doing. Of course, ain't nobody threatened me. And it wouldn't make no difference, no way. I've been a lot of things, but a coward ain't one of them. That don't mean that I was not, didn't have fear, but I never did let my fear master me. A man should not be mastered by fear. If you feel that you are right, if you're afraid, go anyway. Stand up anyway. But you know that Allah is always with you if you're right. So it says, disputing with thee about the truth after it had become clear. That's what they was trying to do. Disputing about it when they had all wrote the letter saying they agreed with it and that it had become clear. It says, as if they were being driven to death while they saw it. And when Allah promised you one of the two parties that it should be yours, that's what he promised to everybody. We have pointed out the two conspicuous. You may be thankful or not thankful. So I chose the party not armed, and you loved that the one not armed should be yours. And Allah desired to establish the truth by his words. He's establishing the truth with the words I'm speaking to you now. Not with bullets and bombs, but with words. And it says, and to cut off the root of the disbelievers? What is the root of the disbelievers? The understanding that they acting on. You remember when they come in here trying to tell me about cutting off somebody's hand and all that stuff. I took that away from it, didn't I? Then he get mad and leave. He wants to chop your head off. He want to shed your blood. All of those things mean you got to shed blood. And I told him, no, that ain't talking about cutting a man's physical head off. It means that get his head, get the one that he's following, get him in a public arena and argue with him in front of them and show him that he's not the one to be followed. Then you've cut that head off. You understand? So, how many of the Highlander? These was a bunch of immortals, right? And they eventually there was a gathering, huh? You know, they walking around and everybody was doing their own thing until the time where they would have to fight it out between themselves because there could only be one, right? That is from Allah. He it is who sent his messenger with the guidance and the true religion, that he may fight it out, make it overcome the religions, all of them, that there may be only one. Huh? Okay. And they used swords to do so, didn't they? And you notice, I'm using the sword of truth. Huh? It's no accident that the word sword, if you take the S off of it, you have another word. And what is that word? Word up. Sure as I tell you. Is that right? Yeah. So we take the word that Allah said Allah desired to establish the truth by his words. Huh? And to cut off the root of the disbelievers. The root of disbelief is lack of understanding. Once understanding comes, then the root is done away with, because disbelief comes from misunderstanding. Huh? Yeah. Once the truth is made plain, then that takes away excuse. If I had not come and spoken unto him, yeah, that he might cause the truth to triumph and bring the falsehood to naught, though the guilty disliked it. Yeah, I know they don't like it. I want to tell you now, you can't understand the Quran unless you can speak Arabic. They didn't used to say that, did they? Yeah. It says, and Allah gave it only as good news, and that your hearts might be at ease thereby, and victory is only from Allah. Surely Allah is mighty wise. Now go back to that 3rd chapter. Did I what? Says, when you sought the aid of your Lord, so he answered you. I will assist 1,000 of the angels following one another. Well, that's not just 1,000, but thousands. 144,000, as a matter of fact. And they follow me whithersoever I go. That's right. So Allah is mighty wise. When I seek his assistance, he gives me assistance. You see how quick he answered why the U.S. keep on helping Israel. Huh? You saw it. Hitler was riding on a train named America. Is that right? In 1939. And America wouldn't with it. Not openly, Huh? Well, you know, the one thing that the white man knows, that if the Jews would teach him how to enslave us, he knows that they don't have no qualms in using tricks on him too. Do you understand? Now, he would come out and say it, but you know, he's smart enough not to pick a fight with somebody who got more sense than him. You understand? So when he got caught with his hand in it, he made him a promise. Look, I know I messed up. I should have helped. And so he helping him now. Do you understand? So, you know, it's how people, how transparent people are. You know, the human body is a magnificent creation because it speaks even when the mouth ain't running. Yeah, you know. And even in the devil's little short time of being around here, he done learned to read people's language and all that stuff, you know. He talking to them, you know. They even analyze when he, you know, pat the back and all that stuff. He done learn to read body language, right? Well, what about a man that's been around here for just trillions of years? You think that he can't see? You know, but it's not about, look, the scripture says, be not forward in the presence of Allah and his messenger. So, you know, the Solomon said this. There's like a lot of you think that if I knew a lot of what people said, that I would have been enrolled, you know. How you know I don't know? I'm not you. The book says, give not heed to every word which is spoken. Let's share your. So, you know, I don't pay no attention to everything I see foolish coming from you. You've been educated by the devil. Naturally, you foolish. That's how he kept you a slave, made a fool out of you. You can't enslave a wise man. You got to get a fool. That's why he talking about 1612. He threw out 1555 because he couldn't. But when he breeded them and took their babies and raised them up without their parents not teaching them nothing, now he got him a slave, a tool, and a fool. Tell him anything. You was cursed. Yeah, we put a curse on him and he lied and put one on us. All right. You was cursed. You the children of Ham. You laughed at Noah. And you was doomed to serve your brothers. Huh? The white man wasn't nowhere around here when Noah was that flood happened. Trillions of years ago. So we are not here to make it up. What he know about it? A 6-day-old baby. He don't know nothing. Even that what he do know, we gave him. You can tell that he's not the author of this stuff that he got, because he produced it and find out later that it's killing him. He's a thief and a robber. You can't go in there and in his mausoleums and stuff and take his dead bodies out of there and rip them off. But he go in other people's country and go all off in tombs and stuff and take their stuff. Talk about he's an archaeologist. You're a grave robber, man. Went in there and found treasures and some of everything that's in them tombs over there, and libraries, and come out pretending that he's smart. How you go from thinking that you're gonna fall off the earth 500 years ago, little over 500 years ago now, and you got collecting rocks off of Mars, and had been around here for 5,000 years and didn't know the earth wasn't a ball. Now all of a sudden you know everything. Well, what about it? We opened up the windows of heaven for him. Let talents come down, and then he began to blaspheme. Huh? Yeah, you heard him called up here blaspheming and going on. You notice they don't challenge me on what I say. They curse at me. What you cursing for? Come in here and prove I'm not telling the truth. Telling that lie, talking about black man live his life from between his legs. That ain't what all this stuff on the internet look like to me. Look like that's where he live his life from. Huh? I defy you to find where you gonna get anybody ruling me from a bedroom. Don't mean I don't like women. It simply means that ain't the last thing on my mind, or the first. I want you to be a dignified woman, not a thing. And that's what you should want for your daughters and your mothers and your following this white man, disrespecting them. You think you know me? You don't know nothing about me. Yeah. Moving right along. What did Allah say to his prophets? You shall believe in him when you sought the aid of your Lord. So he answered you. That's right. I will assist you with 1,000 of the angels following one another. Huh? Yeah, they always follow each other. One by one. They come one at a time. Huh? Right? Until the Son of Man get here, and then all of them come with him. Right. Because his angels are spirits. You see? That's why it says on his head was what? Many crowns. Yes. Any more questions in there? Well, tell him to come on in here and prove it. No, ain't gonna be no private. You in here in a public forum and talking about you want a private meeting that you can prove. What are you afraid of? Be telling me nothing about no private. I'm not afraid that if you can prove I'm wrong, you did me a favor. Because that would mean I'm deluding myself. And the best favor you can do for a person is to show them that they are mistaken. See, you the one got an ego problem, not me. You tell me you want to talk to me privately? This is a public arena. I've invited whoever disagrees to do what? See, you the one that's proud, not me. You notice, I don't have anything to be proud over. I didn't write the scriptures. I was told to read them. I wasn't told to write them. I know that's not my words. He said, son of man, go and speak with my words. If that ain't me, I don't want it. I remember the messenger said the same. He said, we don't want no place. I don't want no place that's not mine. But to leave that place for the man that belongs there. So tell him he don't have to. I'm not worrying about my ego. Now you better tell him to come on in here and be quick about it. Give him the number. You know, so it's sad that people. I mean, that's, you're gonna make me think that you just somebody trying to impress somebody that you think is reading what you got to say. But I told you, I'm not gonna let y'all get away with them empty words that you say to me. I don't want nobody to think that I'm ducking you. Like the people you follow. All of them ducking me. We ain't caught up with Geno Jennings yet. Again, we got him caught up with him once. Years later, he back at it again. Calling Wesley Muhammad out. Yeah, we heard him on there calling Wesley Muhammad out. Won't you call the Son of Man out? Call me out. I'll answer you. Do you just like Doc did on Wide Earth? I'm your huckleberry. That means you're an inconsequential person. Since you think you know so much more than everybody else, and everybody else is so inconsequential, well, then I'll be your huckleberry. Come on in here, and let's see what you got. Standing up talking about the Bible is a history book. That's what he told me. Talking about this is history. I say, yeah, if you want to call it prophecy, say it's history before it happens, but it ain't history yet. You go and look for it in the history book. Do you understand? He was in over his head, and then he didn't want to talk no more. Now, who else talking? Well, then tell him to shut up. And change your name too, because Michael is a name of a warrior. That's not no name for no. You for sure. Michael was a tough fella. I bear witness. That name is a name that says who is like God. That's right. That's one of the attributes of the Son of Man. Michael, Gabriel, all them names. You know, you don't know what you got there. So you get out that name. You go change your name to, let me see. What do you think? I ain't gonna say, no, because William is a pretty noble name. Say about the name William. A lot of times they call him Willie. I'll think of one in a minute. Yes, it's hard to find. It's hard to come up with a weak name. You know, y'all taking all these names and don't live up to them. You know, Dupree. Yeah, name yourself Dupree. that's a name that you can take. So I don't, I ain't met too many Michaels that wouldn't speak their mind. You know, even if they was wrong, they spoke their mind. I'll tell you a good example. 4X. I mean, he might be a lot of things, but he will speak his mind. You know, these people come in here, come out, I'll talk to you private. Then what you print that publicly for? I told you I don't do private teaching because y'all lie too much. You know, the devil love to get you in a situation where they say, well, that's your word against mine. Right? They do that, you know. That's why when they go into the confessional at the police station, they record you. They say, you ready to confess? Yeah. And they turn to, well, what you got there? Well, they got, then he don't want to confess no more. You see my point? No, get it on tape. You see? Well, Richard Nixon showed him. He recorded the conversations he had with people. So I want you to, while I'm just waiting on some of you all that may have some questions you want to ask me about some of the teachings that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that you've been calling a lie. I mean, what about all of you that threw it away? You threw it away for some reason. What wasn't the truth? You didn't seem to have no problem. You're talking about WD was his son, and he ought to know. Oh, yeah? Ask my sons, do they know everything I know? I was my daddy's son, and I didn't know everything about him that I thought I knew. Just because you somebody's physical son or physical offspring, that don't mean you know them better than everybody else. I learned a whole lot of things about my daddy from some people that were strangers to me. Brother Derek trying to ask a question. Yes, sir. What is it, bro?
Yes, sir. In the last meeting during the radio program, you ended up off in the 45th chapter of the Holy Quran, and you were talking about tornadoes of heat, and you were starting to explain that. I was wondering if you're going to go back into that.
I can if y'all want me to. I did go back into it a little. Like I said, you know, people, I mean, you get the definition of life. Oh, I said I did go back in. It's just that I didn't go into it that much. I was just telling you all that water is alive. Everything is alive. A good example, as I said, you know, they give you the definition of life. It just eats, expels waste, and reproduces. A hurricane eats, It expels waste, and it reproduces little small winds that you call tornadoes. Huh? It got lots of children. What you gonna do when the hurricane and her children show up at your door? You gonna remember how you acted with me. They were all ordered to fight on my side. You know, I've been thinking whether or not I want to have some of them come through Jefferson County. A lot know how to thread the needle. He could send some through here and miss us. So I ain't made up my mind yet, but it's getting there. You know, so you'll see. I'm just tired of being hated for no reason other than that I am who I am. I ain't did nothing to none of the people around here or nowhere else. I ain't did nothing harmful to them. I mean, here, these, you got a hell of a nerve, white people, who come in here cursing at me after what you done to us. You would think that we had enslaved them for 400 years. And raped their grandmamas and granddaddies. And that we was running out, had police shooting down their babies. You got a hell of a nerve, man. You're going to choke on that. Put that back on. When you turn it off for? Oh. We are here with the truth. We have not attacked anyone. We've only told the truth. Now, if you think you're free to plan to murder us and attack us, wait and see. Don't be afraid. You hear what I said? Don't be afraid. Allah can protect us and has been protecting us. How you think you living? Be worrying about their looks and they growls and they cussing and going on. That's what people do when they can't do nothing else. Yes, sir. How you know that? That's what you used to do when you couldn't do nothing. Well, ain't that right? I know it's right. Cussing and going on. Go and cuss till your throat hurt. But Allah can put a stop to you. Whenever he get ready, he will put a stop to you cussing. You'll be hollering, oh my God, when you see what's coming after you. Drop some ice on you. Neighborhood on the rocks. You like stuff on the rocks. There's some hail drop down on you. So I'm not worried about you. I'm laughing at you. The book tells you that. It says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh at them. Yes, sir. Don't be afraid. You get behind me and stay there. You are safe. Huh? You know, you tell people when they ask you about the scriptures or whatnot, when you out there, they know you're a Muslim. Tell them the Son of Man told me not to be trying to teach you. He told me to give you a card. Here. He'll leave you alone. Yes, sir. If he don't, watch what Allah do to him. Yeah. There you go. So he'll do the same thing to them that for messing with you that you see him do to them who mess with me. We are one. Am I clear? You just stay behind me. People leave you alone. Yes, sir. When Allah get through putting it on that head, he leave you alone. He'll say, he'll see you by yourself and say, don't bother them. Well, that's the truth. We ain't alone. We're not individuals. We are one body. You know? Don't you go around bothering people, but you defend each other. Am I clear? You don't want us to bother you, leave us alone. Huh? When we find out you don't like us, we get away from you. Right? If you let us. But keep your hands to yourself. Yeah. Now, I don't think I need to make it no plainer than that. All right. So, who else got something they wanted to say? Did he say something else? He left? Well, that's what he need to do. Just surely thou art driven away. You know, don't want to submit. The book says, then go forth. Get out of here. For surely thou art driven away, and on thee is a curse till the day of judgment. And he was respited until the day of judgment. Now, all of that, I'm going to tell y'all again. You better quit eating pig. I'm just telling you now. The white man ain't going to tell you, but that Alzheimer's disease, a lot of it comes from all that pig you've been eating. You've been eating things that Allah told you was unclean to you. And he respited you. But now, if you continue to disobey his protection, his respite to you from eating poison and drinking poison, it ain't got, why you think old people and young people getting it? People used to think that was a disease of old people, huh? Ask some of the nurses in here, is it a disease of old people? That's happening to some of everybody now. You dig in your grave with your teeth. Blessed are they that do his will, that they might have right to the tree of life. The things that I make known to you that Allah have forbidden, stop doing them. All right? Okay. We cannot go out and tell the world that I'm a Muslim unless we practice the principles of Islam. You got people out there calling themselves Muslims, murdering people. That's not Islam. You marching people off into some place, making them dig their own grave so you can murder them, and they look just like you. Those are your brothers. If they don't believe and you believe in it, why don't you show them the righteousness of your way by example, not by murder? Show you are a righteous person. A Muslim is not an unrighteous person. That's why the world hated us so much and hated the Honorable Elijah Muhammad so much, was because our very presence condemns you. All you know is how to kill each other. That's your answer to anybody who disagrees with you. Kill the so-and-so. Our answer is reason with them. And if you can't reason with them verbally, then reason with them through example. That's one thing that I liked about what the man did in that store when the fella came in there with a baseball bat to rob him. The man that owned the store pulled a gun. And then the robber got down on his knees and asked for mercy. And the store owner showed him mercy. And not only did he show him mercy, he reached in his pocket and reached in his cash register, gave him $40, gave him told him to get him some bread. And the fella said, well, I want to be a Muslim. And now, at that point, it went a little astray because he thought that raising your hand and saying there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger makes you a Muslim. But that's something Prophet Muhammad to stop the killing when he conquered Mecca, and his army that was with him was ready to kill all of the people in Mecca. And one of the generals, when he was with the Prophet, he rode his horse up to the surf of the sea and was waving his sword. And if it was not for this sea, I would keep on to the ends of the earth, putting to death every infidel. That was their attitude when they got back there. And Muhammad said, okay, anyone that says there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger, spare his life. And that's how he put a stop to the bloodshed. They didn't understand that didn't make you no Muslim. That was just something people were saying to save their life. What makes you a Muslim is when you hear and obey the messages of Allah. That means when you understand, not your understanding, but Allah's understanding of Allah's words. When you understand the messages of Allah and you obey them, that is when you become a Muslim. Do you understand? Okay. So, but when he turned his back to go get the young man some milk, he came back, the man was gone. Right? But at least in even the Islamic doctrine that store owner had, his heart still went out to the man in a way that he didn't think that it was worth killing the man over. I remember the messenger told us, he said, in practicality, the worst Muslim is sometimes better than the best Christian. Because a lot of them ask, why didn't you shoot him? Over what? You take a human life because the man was trying to get a few dollars from you? Yeah, that's the kind of world you live in. People don't care about people. You know, it's just like them people come in here cussing and going on at me. I ain't want to kill them people. I did what I need to do. Just cut them off. Huh? I don't need to kill them, even though they would like to kill me. Hey, liking to and doing is two different things. If they knew what I know and understood like I understand, they wouldn't like to do that to me. Do you understand? Everybody is acting according to what they have in them. So I try my best to remember that and show mercy. Do you understand? So it gets on my nerves sometimes, but I can stand a little getting on the nerves. I done been doing this for a long time, over almost 40 years. I mean, it's not like, I remember the messenger put it like this. He said, you can't go fishing from time to time. You're going to get finned by those fishes. You notice, finned is what you ever grabbed it wrong, then one of them fins stuck you, huh? So it's the same as the word offend. Do you understand? You see? So sometimes people offend. But, we expect that from time to time, because they've been raised wrong. I wasn't raised by my parents and their mouths filled with cursing and swearing and going on. So consequently, it was easier for me to stop doing that once I picked it up in the Marine Corps. I learned how to do most of my cursing when I was in the Marines. That's how they talk. Everybody do it. So pretty soon it don't sound like nobody doing it because everybody doing it. You understand? But then when you come out into the civilian world, you see how out of place it is because people look at you when you do it. So, joining with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he took all that kind of filthy language out of our mouths. Some done picked it back up now, but that's because they left him and wouldn't follow me. But, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad took great pride in the fact that he said, when he was talking about people and Malcolm and whatnot, he said, we didn't do nothing to Malcolm. He said, if Malcolm was trying to get you freedom, justice, and equality on some of this earth that you can call your own, he said, he should be mourned. He said, but he wasn't doing that except when he was following me. He said, when he left me, he, in so many words, he lost his mind. He said, teaching you to go and pick up arms against the most well-armed government on the earth. He said, that was bloodbath teaching. He said, you would have just been committing suicide. He said, if I can't lead you out of the fire, I'm certainly not going to lead you in it. He said, go around my followers. He said, you don't never hear them cursing and swearing at each other. I taken filthy language out of their mouths. Took the filth out of their mouths. He said, this is the work of Elijah. That's right. And I bear witness that I'm a much better man after the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad than I ever was before he taught me. I know that myself. I know what I was into. I know what I was doing. I know how I was not at peace in that world out there. Walking around thinking that you got to pack a gun. Talking about if some so-and-so mess with me, I'm going to blow his so-and-so brains out. And didn't say it in them words either. I know what we say. I know how we was thinking. And just as paranoid as I don't know what. As they say, paranoid as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Every time I heard a noise, I'd jump. Wondering who was that? What was that? But not no car backfire. Funny, I didn't get that way till I got back from overseas. I guess that's that post-traumatic stress thing that they talk about. It's real. So, man, I could be sitting on the bus and hear a noise and go to jumping. And so after I accepted Islam, I was finally at peace. That's how I know Allah is the author of peace. His messenger gave me the truth, and I ain't been scared since. You could set off a cherry bomb or whatever right behind me, and I don't jump. Allah have blessed me to be at peace and trust in him. I don't trust in no pistol, no knife, none of that. I trust in Allah. And when you start trusting in Allah, you will be at peace. Knowing that everything is real. This planet is real. And even if you ain't never seen air, you know air is real. Is that right? And just because you ain't never seen the God who put all this together, don't you think that he ain't real and the planet he put together is real? He's real, brother. And if you ain't seen him in the real way, you come get with me. You'll see him in the real way. Yes, sir. He's real. And if he say, don't bother you, that ain't no request. You remember the devil himself said to the Lord, I can't touch him. You got the hedges around him. Huh? Do that sound like the devil can do what he please? All right, then. He do what please Allah. All right? You know, as I tell you, even if I got shot down, that ain't no excuse for you to start disbelieving in Allah. Because Allah is the one that does what he intends, and he allows to happen whatever he wants to happen. That don't mean he wasn't with me. Were you there when I walked out in front of that truck and should have been dead? I told you about it. Who stopped it? He did. So even if I got killed tomorrow, I should have been dead back in 1974. So, you know, Allah is the greatest, man. And Job said, the Lord give it. And if you can give thanks to Allah when he give you a blessing or give you something you wanted, be thankful when he lets you fall into trial and allow something to happen to you to test you. Be thankful for that too. Am I clear? Yes. All right. So I don't ever go blaming Allah for anything. Anything bad happened to us, it didn't come from him, it came from us. You see? You can't follow Allah's instruction and something bad happened to you. His instructions are not grievous. They don't produce grief. Our instructions produce us grief. Oh, that song said, put your hand in the hands of the man who steals the water. That's right. So all praise is due to Allah. So we have much to share with you. But yes, the waters, the grass, the trees. You notice a lot of women tell you they talks to their plants. Yeah. You know, the earth itself is just alive. You notice we say God is the God of the what? And what? Not of anything that's dead. We all live under him. Otherwise, how would it obey him if it wasn't alive to him? Communication is everything. So, you know, I remember when they was talking about in Moses, rain frogs, right? Well, it rains cats and dogs around here. So now you know that was a metaphor, right? All right, I was just making sure. All right, we like to keep you from being all spooked out, huh? Right. We don't like spookism. We like reality. Reality is the truth. So we, you know, don't we don't want you to misunderstand our language anymore. Excuse me. Because the day have come for understanding. The day of judgment is the day of understanding. You see, where there is no understanding, there can't be any judgment. So we are here with the understanding of the word, and we are giving you that. So you'll notice you go too long without water, what happened to you? This farm ceases to exist. Water is life. Huh? There you go. There you go. And you know, it's all one. It's all necessary. Allah does not waste anything. If you didn't need iron, it wouldn't be in you. That's a little bit of that, a little bit. You know, the cake to turn out right, you can't leave out none of them ingredients. It requires all that. Is that right? All in there, you ain't gonna get the cake that you was looking for. You got to put all that in man. Right? Yeah. And the beautiful thing is, we knew these things without really knowing them. As we used to say when somebody asks us, what's happening, man? And say, oh, man, everything is everything. And that's the literal truth. Everything is everything. Yeah. So, man, we are something. You got everything in you, basically, that's in the earth. You notice you got ivory. Hey, them teeth. It's ivory, right? Hey, Well, you be surprised what's in us. And so we have been a mystery to ourselves. But the day the seventh angel shall sound, the mystery of God shall be finished. You see? Yeah. We got a lot. We got a lot that we need to learn. We need to start acting like who we really are. We're not animals. That was the mistake. Since we call ourselves animals but under the teachings of white people, then we had no aversion to acting like animals. And so we prey on one another like animals do. Huh? But the day for preying on one another is at its end. Let me show you something. This is just a sign of the time. Just give me a minute.
With the ice long gone, he is forced onto land in search of food. There will be no easy meals on this island. Walruses are the largest seals in the world. They weigh over a ton and are armed with tusks a meter long. Exhausted from his swim, the bear must regain his strength. The next day, a sea fog shrouds the island. The walruses sense that they're in danger. Using the fog as cover, the bear approaches the herd. The adults close ranks around their young, presenting a wall of blubber and hide. He tests the land, but it stands firm. It appears that the world's largest land carnivore has met its match. There must be a chink in the armor somewhere. Not here. This female walrus is shielding her pup. If he can just prise her off. The bear's claws and teeth can't penetrate her thick hide. With the herd water, the bear must move quickly. Having failed with one, he heads straight for another. The chance of his first meal in months is slipping away. He seems increasingly desperate. It's now or never. He must avoid the stabbing tusks if he's to win. The flailing walrus is immensely powerful and drags the bear away from the shallows towards the safety of the herd. It slips from his grasp. Only at the height of summer, when bears are on the verge of starvation, will they risk dangerous prey. It was a gamble that this bear took and lost. The stab wounds he received from the walrus are so severe that he can barely walk. The walruses are calm again, seemingly aware that the injured bear is a threat to them or their young.
Well, the day for predators is fast coming out, going to an end. I want to show you something else here.
Kennedy placed greater emphasis on an inflammatory speech the Soviet leader had given only a few weeks earlier. In it, Khrushchev had said he intended to beat the United States with small wars of liberation all over the world. Chairman Khrushchev threw down the gauntlet in the third row by saying, goodwill gestures appeared to signal a desire for a new beginning. Kennedy placed greater emphasis on an inflammatory speech the Soviet leader had given only a few weeks earlier. In it, Khrushchev had said he intended to beat the United States with small wars of liberation all over the world. Chairman Khrushchev threw down the gauntlet in the third row by
Look like somebody's still acting on that. Small wars of liberation all over the world. That's how Khrushchev's plan was to beat the U.S. Keep sending your sons and daughters off to foreign lands dying. Pretty soon you'll be too weak to defend yourself. President Obama did the right thing, bringing the troops home and saying, you through putting our boots on the grounds in your little wars that you refuse to sit down at the conference table of peace. But somebody obviously don't care about America who's interested in still keeping that mess going. And they still trying to get him to send some troops in, right? Why? Well, you know, one bomber, you know, one of them F-18s or F-15 jets sell for around $40 million. Arms is big business. Bombs, every time bombs is falling, somebody's spending money to replace them. Huh? So it's no longer, they don't have any longer governments against each other. It's just the haves and the have-nots. That's what the wealthy people, that's their thinking. They're not interested in keeping America strong. If they could get rid of America, then they could dictate to the world. That's their. So I don't, but Allah got another plan. They think they planning something, but Allah got a plan for all crooks who think that they gonna continue to do their evil in the day and time where they was told to rest. So, but you see, that's what they have been doing, keeping one war breakout after another, right? For so-called. That was Khrushchev's idea. And look what President Kennedy did with it.
Essentially arguing that the Soviet Union's foreign policy now increasingly would be to support national independence movements where the superpowers both essentially tried to gain influence. Kennedy was really quite upset about this speech, and he gave the text of this speech to all of his advisors and said, "You need to read this."
Kennedy ends up carrying this speech around in his pocket, and he pulls it out with experts in his new administration, and he reads from the speech. He's so obsessed with the message that.
The problem is, Kennedy had wisdom far beyond his years and his time. When he was sounding the alarm, they thought he was stupid or afraid or a coward or whatnot. You know, that's the problem with training to fight. The more you train to fight and the better you get at it in your training, the more you start itching to use your training. That was some of the wisdom that the founding fathers, I say wisdom, they knew that the military must always remain under the control of civilians. Because if you leave the military to itself or let the military have the last word, you will always be in a war somewhere. That's just like people who put too much power in the hands of lawyers. You will always be in court somewhere. Because that's how he justifies his salary. So even if it ain't nothing to fight about, he makes something to fight about. So, I don't have no problem with knowing how to fight, but I have a problem with people knowing how to fight and rather than knowing how to make peace. There ought to be moderation, balance. I think it was Roosevelt, speak softly but carry a big stick. Well, that's true. I mean, okay, you don't have to, yes, be ready to fight. As President Kennedy said, never negotiate out of fear. So you be ready to fight, but never fear to negotiate. You can always fight if everything else breaks down, but let's fight at the last resort because we need to defend ourselves, not because we can bully people. You understand? So, but President Kennedy saw what Khrushchev was doing. That's why he was ready to pull out people out of Vietnam. He saw it already in motion. And they murdered him. So those who had another agenda to keep wars going so they can make money off of it. I'm not going to even talk about the black market of money now, how people, if you had military pay certificates, you could exchange those military pay certificates for equal amount of greenbacks. You see? And, you know, even though those military pay certificates wasn't good nowhere but there. You know, so, you know, some of the people, they would give you $40. I didn't do it, but I know it was being done. They give you $40 in military pay certificates for $20 greenback. Then you could go and trade it for $40 greenback. And you've been made you $20 off of that little transaction. And a lot of people was doing it. You know, there was a lot of money being, oh man. Drugs, you get drugs everywhere. You know, most of your young people was coming back to America. We didn't, the American people didn't know that their sons and daughters were purposely being turned into drug heads. You know, you just don't know, boy. There's a lot of countries hate this country. You know, because of what you stood for. Even with all of the bad that America has done, America was a beacon of hope. You know, a lot of people was rebelling against their country simply because they saw something better over here in America. If you understand what I'm saying. So they was giving their countries problems. So that what was the problem? Get rid of America if you can. You know, people was, you know, and it's still people want to get rid of this country. I'm not interested in getting rid of her. I'd like to heal her. But you can't heal people that won't let you. I don't care how good a doctor you are if the patient won't cooperate. You sure can't heal yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't have let yourself fall into this condition. The messenger's words are fast coming true. He said that you will one day wish that you had helped me get my people out of the mud. Because in helping get us up, you would have been helping your people too. But no, you just can't stand to see the black man truly free. If you are so great as you try to put on, why are you so busy trying to stop us from doing whatever it is we can do? If you deem us to be inferior to you, why are you so afraid to let us alone? Because you don't believe the lie you telling, even to yourself anymore. No one has to stand over a person that they truly deem to be inferior to them to try to hold them in an inferior position. So I'm going to leave it right there, since ain't nobody arguing. Is he back? All right. You know, you always give people an opportunity if they think they got something to put forth that can show you that you're wrong. You do yourself a favor by letting them, because they might really have something. Huh? All right. Then may Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds. Allah's alaikum.